Guys, so I've seen another video on YouTube and I was actually just talking about this in the last video in the comment section, but saying about holders for kick cylinders because I don't have one, and talking to some people on there, and one of them said about making one. And there's a couple of different ideas, but one of the ones that piqued my interest was using a thing called polymorph. I believe that's the name for it, polymorph. But anyway, so I went online and I ordered some off eBay, and it got delivered today. It cost me $15. That's Australian, so you can work it out what it is yourself. But this is the stuff here. So I got 200 grams of it for $15. So it's little plastic pellets just here, and you put it into warmish, well, hottish water, approximately 62 to 63 degrees Celsius, and it melts down to a plastic that you can then mold in your hands and shape, then put it into cold water or let it cool to room temperature, and it goes hard. Now this is described to feel a bit like nylon, and at the moment it just looks like little balls of polystyrene. But anyway, so there is one other video I've seen on YouTube about making a kick holder using this stuff. So I thought I'd have a go myself and just try and make a smaller one, and take you through how I'm going to do it, and hopefully it'll turn out alright. So first things first was needed a vessel to be able to use to make the mould. First thing you need is a kick cylinder. So I just grabbed an old one here and I've taped it up just to make sure that the polymorph will get into the cylinder itself, the keyway or anything. And because when this stuff shrinks or cools, it shrinks a little bit, I should say. So I've just put some tape on there, some Gorilla Tape. So hopefully it'll give just that little, about millimetre wiggle room for when it shrinks down. So it's the first thing you need. Then I was looking around for some containers to sit this in to make the outside of the mould. And the video I've seen, he uses a lid like this. This is off a cleaning spray. So you can use one of them, but I wanted something that's not so big. So I found one of my old protein scoops from the protein powder. Pretty big scoop, as you can see, and I've just cut it to make it a bit shorter so that the kick will fit in there with just a little bit of overhang at the top there. And I've also just roughly cut out a hole in the back for where the end of this is going to sit. Sit in there, so it should sit like that, just so there's a hole all the way through, just to make sure it sits in there, so your kick will go all the way into the holder when it's done. It's not exactly level at the moment, so I've just got to finish that off, and then to hold it into place, just stop anything from leaking out, got another piece of Gorilla Tape. Just going to stick it on the back, onto the back of the kick there, seal it around like that. Now that will be the basis for my kick holder. So I'm going to spray this with a bit of oil spray. I'm thinking some cooking spray, just to help this stuff come out a bit easier, hopefully. And melt up some of this stuff and make a mould, and let's see if it works. So I'll go and get that organised, and then I'll come back and we'll do a bit more. Got some water from the kettle, still pretty hot since the kettle just boiled, and it's got some cooking spray here. I thought this oil might work alright, so make sure I get it. I'm hoping this will aid in the removal of the plastic or the polymorph. Alright, so that should be greased up enough to help take that out. So I'll let that sit for a minute while check out this weird stuff. Oh, and recommend using a fork to mix the stuff. Just that way you get the excess water off when you mix it up. Spray all on me mat. So, not sure how much exactly I'll need to fill this, so it'll just be a guessing game. Let's use this cap to grab some out.
Might be enough. Alright, so it is. Does feel kind of weird, like little plastic pellets. But, alright, so I've got a glass one so you can see down in there. Let's pour these in. See how that goes first. As you can kind of make out, it's starting to go a bit translucent, which is the plastic heating up and melting. Now it says it's non-toxic, so I'm hoping it is. So I'm using my cooking utensils here. Give this a good stir. Make sure this is all melted. That's hot. Give it a quick knead. Oh, this stuff is weird. Cool, but weird. Right. Now it says the hotter the water, the more liquidy and soft it becomes. So that's why I've just used straight boiling water from the kettle. So this kettle quick got to fill up this glass jar, so will it drop a couple of degrees due to the cold glass, but hopefully not a whole lot. But I'm hoping it gets soft enough to be able to mould it into here to make it kick colder. Now if I had a 3D printer I'd probably print one out, but I don't. So seeing if this is a cheap, reliable way of making one. So this will be the process from start to finish. Right, that feels like it should be soft enough. Try and keep it warm. And we'll start shoving it nice and firmly into this mould. I'm going to try and make it all nice, sure it's nice and straight. And I should move this camera a bit so you can actually see what's going on. I can feel it starting to harden up. Screw it. Damn, that's hot. Right, just make sure this mould is all nice and flat. I'm just going to grab my very small follower. Get it out there. And just use this to compress this plastic. Right, I think I'm going to need a bit more. Hopefully this is still hot enough. I'll pause this while I melt this up a bit.
Camera will pause, which it won't. Alright, I'll just stop it. Go and refill this glass jar up with some hot water because it had cooled down to a point where it wouldn't melt the plastic, but as you can see, it's starting to mould into there quite nicely. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. But that's what these tests are for. So let's grab this out. That's super hot water in there. Mould it a little bit, just enough to make sure it's
Mouldable. Let's grab some out. I'm charging little bits at a time to make sure that it's really fits in there nicely. The good thing about this is if you don't like it or it don't turn out right, you can reheat it and it will melt down again so you can mould it again. So hopefully this actually turns out alright. I'm just going to mould that around. Let's grab a bit more for the other side. But weird stuff, man, it's like, Once that's filled, make sure it's nice and flat. But it says you can sand, file, drill, cut, this stuff once it's set. So let's find out if stuff works well. So I'm just trying to smooth this all out a bit. Alright, so that's pretty much the mould all set, as you can see. Now I'm going to try and speed up this process of hardening a bit by sitting in some cold water, and then we'll come back, see if we can get this kick out.
And have a look and see what it comes out like. Alright, so I threw it in some super cold water to speed up that hardening process, and it has got nice and hard. So far, so good. See if we can get this core out. It'll come out the plastic quite easily. So that cooking spray actually worked a treat. Just fell straight out, and because it shrinks a little bit when it cools. So I can get this
Kick out. That's got it. And
I'll just clean this up, take the hacksaw, I'm just going to straighten up the face here, maybe square off the sides a little bit, so it's not so massive and bulky, and it'll fit in the vise a bit better. So let me go ahead and do all that, and then we'll come back and have a look at the finished product. But don't get tongue tied. The finished product. Alright, so the end result, and I'll still got to clean this up a bit more, but it's not the best. I mean, you're not going to get it as smooth and as neat as a 3D printed one. I just got to finish cleaning this up a bit more, sand it out, make it smooth. But as you can see, popped it out and evened it out both sides. Just cut that off. I had to remake this one. I had to melt it down and make it again, the mould. I used the hacksaw and got caught and I accidentally snapped a big chunk of the plastic out, so I had to redo it, but I followed it exactly the same as before. And then I found that if you use a serrated kitchen knife, such as this one here, and you take your time, because it will heat up, it makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother cut than a hacksaw, because the friction causes heat, which causes the plastic to melt. But then to cut the channel in, which I just got to smooth out, I used a little tool that goes on the Dremel, so it's like a little milling tool. Use that to cut the channel, just to smooth it out in there a bit more. You can see some little bits of plastic in there that where it's melted. I just got to clean up, but that'll come up clean and nice. And I cut it. The reason why I cut the channel through there is so that when we put it into the vise, like the ones that you can get from 3D printed, so this fits into the vise like that. You take a kick cylinder, and I should have one here somewhere. Here we go. Dexter dilemma. So you take your kick cylinder, slide it into there, and you can see it's still a little bit rough. I've just got to smooth it out. So if you don't cut that gouge out and you try to tighten it, it's going to, the core will go in and out. So you need that little cut out. So depending on if it's a bit fatter up here or thinner, once you get it into there, you get it into your vise, you tighten it up, and this gap will close in, locking your kick cylinder in there, and it's not going to bounce around and move around on you. So for $15, and I've still got quite a bit here plus the offcuts. All your offcuts and any bits that come off when you're sanding or cutting away, throw them all back in here. You can melt them down again and reuse it. So next, no wastage with this. See, there's chunks of bits where I've cut off and melted and started to clean it up. But there we go, little kick holder. And if you really want, instead of holding it in the vise, this works well enough. You can even hold it in your hand if it'll focus properly. So I need to clean it up just a bit more. I think I worked out why that won't fit in there properly, because that's the front there. So, I mean, not the best finish. I've still got to finish off sanding it. To sand these, I recommend using, for the Dremel, one of these 80 grit sand discs. I use this on here. Seems to work a bit better than normal sandpaper. But finish cleaning this up. It was a bit rough as guts. But for 15 bucks, if you don't have a 3D printer, you can whip yourself up a polymorph kick holder. So, not bad. I might make another one of these actually. So, there you go. Alright, get that stuff out of the way. So just remember those couple of tips. Use a serrated bread knife. I've found cuts it better. And take your time, because you don't want to melt the plastic. So anyway, as always follow the codes, keep locksport legal, you know, don't do anything stupid. Come and join us on Discord, the Extraordinary League of Pickers. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook as well. We're on there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and turn notifications on wherever that button is as well. Don't forget to leave a comment down below what you think. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can email darkartslockpicking@gmail.com, and I will get back to you. And until next time, cheers guys.